Thursday meetup of the West Orlando WordPress Meetup Group. I'm Brian Walton, a co-organizer and host. West Orlando WordPress is an official WordPress meetup group and is affiliated with the main WordPress Orlando and WordCamp US meetup groups. Out of the box, WordPress allows you to create both pages and posts. While pages are generally static, one-off type content, like your about page or privacy policy, posts are generally used to create articles and other content listed on your blog page. But what if you have content that needs to act like a blog post, but for which you need a set of custom fields? Some examples might be a real estate site, a job listing board, or a book review site. Anything that requires listing a set of things with similar content. You might think that this requires custom coding, but it doesn't. Using a few plugins, you can actually create custom post types, custom fields, and custom filtering options without knowing any code at all. In this session, we'll look at the most commonly used plugins for this purpose and provide a demo of how to use them. Beth Livingston built her first WordPress site in 2009 for a side business, was immediately smitten, and soon began building websites for other small businesses. In 2016, after a long history as an IT business analyst, instructional designer, and project manager, she left the corporate world to form her WordPress agency, Triad Web Advisors. Soon after, while attending WordCamps and seeing how folks were struggling with project management, she decided to share her knowledge to help others by forming the WP Project Managers Academy. She now enjoys providing real-life project management skills training to all types of WordPress practitioners, designers, developers, consultants, project managers, and agencies. In addition to continuing to run her agency and serving as the Academy Director, Beth also administers the WordPress Project Management Facebook group and serves as an event organizer for the Triad WordPress Meetup Group. Beth considers teaching her one true joy and has presented project management related talks at various WordCamps across the US, international WordPress meetups, at Venture Cafe Winston-Salem, and has taught project management classes at Guilford Technical Community College's Small Business Center in Greensboro, North Carolina. In her spare time, what there is of it, Beth also enjoys visiting live music venues and occasionally acting and singing in local theater productions. At this point, I'd like to invite everyone to mute their microphones for the presentation. Beth, thank you for being our presenter this evening. The time is now yours.
Thank you for having me. This is a topic that I never really thought I'd get into, but out of the need of my clients, and I had to figure out how to do this. And so it's so much easier than I thought it would be. So I'm happy to be here and share it with you. So this is brought to you by the WP Project Managers Academy, or me, whichever one. So a little bit more about who I am. Actually, just really quick, I wanted to explain something that you'll see me listed out several other places as WP Roadmaps and Coaching, or WP Roadmaps, and that's because that was the name of my agency, and I recently rebranded to Triad Web Advisors because I niched down into helping people with website audits and remediation and privacy policies and things like that. And then I'm still doing the WP Project Managers Academy, where we teach people to consistently get projects completed on time, within budget, with the right features that meet the client's business requirements without sacrificing profit. That's the big part. But what I want to make clear here tonight is I am not an expert on custom post types and advanced custom fields, or custom fields. Okay, I'm not. I do know enough to be able to share with people who don't know anything about it. Because if there is an expert on this call and they're watching what I'm doing, then I might be doing it completely in a way that is maybe not a best practice. But this is the way that I figured it all out, and it works for me. And I'll show you some examples here in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples, but before we do that, let's talk about what is a post type. Well, just about everything in WordPress is a post type, which makes it a little bit confusing, seeing as there's one post type called posts. So that makes it a little bit confusing, right? So we have blog posts, web pages, products, media files, just about anything that you add to WordPress is actually a post type. And then every post type has different fields. web pages, you know, we've got the title, the content, the published date, the featured image. There's some other stuff too, but that's the basic fields, right? Well, blog posts, you've got those same fields, but you've also got a category field that you don't have for pages. And then with products, you have all the same fields, but then you've also got a price, and you've probably got an SKU field and some of the others. So every post type has different fields. So where do these post types come from? Well, WordPress core, that's where things like post pages, your media files, the things that come with WordPress, that's where those post types come from. WooCommerce has its own post types. When you install WooCommerce, you've got a whole new post type called products. If you're using subscriptions or memberships with WooCommerce, then you've got those post types. And then other plugins like real estate listings or recipes, or if you use MemberPress, then all of your members, all of your memberships are post types. But what if you need more than what comes with any of this? Like, let's just say you want to do a book review website, okay? There's probably a plugin out there that does a directory website that you could kind of manipulate into working like you want. But I guarantee you there's one feature you need that's not in that plugin, or the other plugin, or the other plugin. So that was my experience, okay? Because I had to do this. I did this for real estate. I did this for furniture, and I did this for, let's just call it a job listing. It's not really a job listing, but it's like a profile posting. And I'm going to show you those examples in a minute. But so I went out looking for a plugin that would maybe just let me, you know, I could use universally for all these things. And there just isn't anything like that that is custom. They're all kind of leaning in one direction or another. So enter custom post types. And there are actually two ways to create custom post types. You can just create custom post types right within WordPress, but it's a little technical. Or you can use a plugin to do that. So this is, I copied this out of WordPress.org. These are the steps for creating a custom post type in WordPress. Now, if you're like me, I am not super technical. I got to step 3 where it said click update code, and I was like, oh, hell no. Right? So this just seemed a little complicated for me. So luckily there is a plugin, custom post type UI, and it is a free plugin from the repository that will allow you to not only create a custom post type, but it'll also allow you to create custom taxonomies for that post type, or for any post type. And by custom taxonomies, it's categories and hierarchical structure of categories. Like for my furniture store, it starts out with living room, and then under living room is like sofas and chairs and tables and that sort of thing. So I'm going to give you a little demo now. I'm going to move this over here, and I'm going to show you some examples of using custom post types and custom fields. Okay, so this is the furniture store I was mentioning. So, well, let me come back to this one because it is a little bit different, because this uses custom fields, but not a custom post type. And it uses custom taxonomy, but not a custom post type. Okay, so here's a real estate site. And so you see that we've got all these listings here. This realtor only has one for sale. All the rest of them have sold. And then when we click into here, we get the detail, sort of like a WooCommerce or an e-commerce listing, right? And then we get the detail of that listing. And this one happens to be laid out with tabs. Here's another one. Now, this is a site this is a staging site, y'all. I'm still working on this, so no judgment, please. But this is a site I'm building for the folks in the academy who get certified as a level 2, or maybe even a level 1. We haven't quite decided that. But so it's like an extra place that they can get a profile listed and get some extra social proof, and they can do backlinks to their website. So it's just a little extra perk to get some SEO going on these folks for their project management skills. And so when we go into that page where those are listed, very similar, you've got, you know, a listing of the individual ones. And then when you click into that, you get to the detail. And then usually on a listing site like this, you have filters as well. But what I wanted to show you is kind of a demo of the custom post type UI plugin. So this only has one custom post type, and it's called PM listing. And so then you indicate the plural label and the singular label. And if we scroll down, we can make a custom name for all of these things. So instead of saying add new, if you want to add a new item or whatever it is, it could say add new movie, if that's what you wanted to have there. I don't typically use these. I have used a couple of them in the past, but like set featured image, you might want it to say set featured image for this movie, especially if what you're setting this up for is for users to enter content into the input field that would then make these things, would fill these things up. Sometimes you want to be a little more descriptive. So that's what that part of this is. But then when you move down here, you can, where is that? Hold on just one moment. I can't remember. We set it to hierarchical, and then some of these things I just do because I know I'm supposed to. Okay, menu position. See where that's got a 2 right there? If I scroll up here, you can see that's where my PM listings are in the admin menu. So this lets me control how it looks and how it looks, and then what the words that are used for the admin menu for this particular post type. I hope that makes sense to everybody. I'm talking kind of fast. If I'm talking too fast, just tell me to slow down. Let's see, what else did I want to show you about this? Whether it should show up in the menu or not, and then you can set the icon for it. So like on my real estate site, you see properties, it has the little icon of the house by it, and agents has people by it. And this one, I just used the people icon also because these are PM managers. So I thought that was pretty cool. So now that you've, let's see if there's anything. Oh, and then you can, all the different little aspects of when you do a blog post or you set up a web page, you can put in the excerpt, you can have custom fields, you can do comments, revisions, who the author is, and all that. You get to pick and choose which of those things are going to be on this custom post type, because the idea is that someone else is entering this data, right? So maybe they don't need an excerpt, or they don't need revisions to show up, so you can pick and choose what should be there. And then if you have any taxonomies that should go with this, then you can designate what those are. So that is how you set up. I mean, I could set up a new one, but I think you can get the concept just from me showing you that. So let's go back to our slide deck here. So that's how you get your custom post type. But then how do you get your custom fields? Well, you can also create custom fields in WordPress, but it's complicated and a little over my head. So that's where advanced custom fields comes in. It is also a free plugin. I use the pro version because I need different integrations and stuff, but you can do this with the free version. So now I'm going to show you what that looks like. And in order to do that, I have to do this. Whoops. Wrong one. Still the wrong one. Hold on. There we go. Okay, custom fields. So for my PM listings, the first thing you do is you set up a field group. Okay, these are all the fields that go together. Okay, there's no other way to put that. So when I click into that, what I did was I set up all these different fields. The little red asterisk means that it's required. But about the agency name, about the agency, that's a tab. And I'll show you know what, that's what I should show you first. if I go up here to PM listings, and we look at one of these, let's just edit it. So you can see from the back end, it looks very much like a regular web page or a web post or a blog post. But now down here is where we've got all these extra fields. Okay, we've got them set up in tabs. So here's about the agency. This is about me. This is what we do and for whom. And this is social proof. Now, this stuff is kind of wonky and out of place, y'all, because I told you this is a staging environment. And I just actually moved it from one host to the other. And so it kind of got out of place when I did that. So I'll figure out what's going on here. But so if I was entering the data for this person, or if she was entering her own data, she would only see the fields that she needed to see in order to fill this out. So this is how it looks on the back end. And so then after it's filled out, this is how it looks on the front end. And so then, we've taken those custom fields and we've used, now I'll tell you in a minute which plugin I use for this, because I also use Elementor as a page builder. But you can set this up to be exactly what you want it to be. And then underneath, here's all the other custom fields laid out so that whoever's reviewing this information can see that. But if we go back to the custom fields, and we look at, say, agency name, we're specifying it's a text field. We give the field label. We give it a slug name. Actually, that fills in automatically. You don't even have to do that. Then we say, okay, is it required or not required? And what if there's a character limit, we can fill that in. We can put instructions around the field. So if somebody's needing to understand how to fill this out, you can put in placeholder text. You can put text, like if you need to put a label in front of it, you can do that by prepending it. You can put stuff afterwards. You can specify the width of it. That's how, when we were looking at the, let's see, hold on one second. Let me go back up here a minute. When we're looking at these tabs and how these things are laid out in columns and how wide everything is, this is where you would set that up as well, for each one of the fields. And the nice thing is, once you create the first one, you can duplicate it and then make the changes to the next one and the next one and the next one. So it doesn't take as long. Then there's also a plugin that I think it may be an add-on to advanced custom fields, or it might be a separate plugin, I can't remember, that will allow you to set conditionals. Or maybe it's part of this. Hold on, let me look. It should be part of the pro version, I would think. Oh, there it is, conditional logic. Yes. So I could say, if I turn on conditional logic, I can say, show this field if, well, it really works better if it's a field further down on the page. So let me, okay. So I could say, show this field. If I said this was conditional, show this field if agency name has any value, or if agency name is equal to, or so you can customize what they see based on what's selected in the previous field. That is very, very helpful when you're designing something like this. Let's see if there's anything else here I wanted to show you about that. So you see this one right here, it has a type of tab. And then all the other fields that are underneath that until we get to the next tab are going to be inside that tab. So when we looked at this here, so that's how these tabs got there, because they're just another field type on the advanced custom fields. So that's how you create a custom post type. Like, you just can't have, nothing out there comes pre-built that you can use. So you just have to build a custom post type. That's how you would do it and add custom fields. But sometimes you just need to add some custom fields to an already existing post. And that's what's possible with advanced custom fields too. And that's why I was going to show you this furniture site. If we look at the back end of this, and we go to products, which are the WooCommerce products, look at all the taxonomies. All right, so this does not have custom post type, but it does have custom taxonomies. So we set these taxonomies up so that these products could be put into these different buckets, depending on whether they're a product that belongs in the dining room or the living room or the bedroom, and so on and so forth. And then it drills down. So I'm going to look real quick here at CPT UI and go, click the wrong thing there. I'm going to go back and click add edit taxonomies. So in a similar way to adding a custom post type, you add taxonomies that these are the living room products, and we give them the plural name and the singular name, and then you designate which post type it's supposed to be these fields are supposed to be attached to. And so in this case, it's products, or it could have been posts. So you can add to your post, you can add to your media files. If let's just say that a client has one extra field that they need to designate for every photo, right? How are you going to do that? Well, this is how you would just add one field via advanced custom fields in order to do that. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's go back to our slides here. So it's important to remember that custom fields can be added to existing post types like pages or products, or to custom post types that you create. Now, other plugins that come in real handy, especially if you're doing listing sites like this, and this, hey, look, listing sites are not the only purpose for this. It's just the most common. And if this is something you want to do, if you want to really get into the nitty-gritty detail of it, I highly recommend Paul Charlton's YouTube channel. It's called WP Tuts. I think that's short for tutorials, but he pronounces it WP Tuts. And it's Paul Charlton. He's from Wales. Sometimes I watch his videos so much that I start thinking in a Welsh accent. So he's really fun to listen to as well. But what I use, because I use Elementor. All right, so I showed you how to do the custom post type, and I showed you how to add the custom fields, but then you've still got to create that loop. Okay, when I say loop, it's the kind of like the thumbnail version of the product or the thing, like what I'm showing on the slide here, like for the project manager listing. You have to create that. And then you have to create your archive, or you have to have a way to designate the archive. And so Elementor does that really well in terms of I can go out and build me a custom archive. I can say make it 3 across or 4 across, and I can say what's supposed to be in there. But when it comes to this loop, there's another plugin that's needed, and that's Elementor Custom Skin. There are other plugins for this, or they call it Ellie Custom Skin, but this is the one that I use, but there are similar ones. I just wanted to point out that you'll need some way to build this loop item. Or in some cases, if you're adding fields to say WooCommerce products, you may need a plugin that allows you to either edit or create a new loop for your WooCommerce products. Sounds complicated, but it's really not. And then depending how others are going to access the site, because if you're doing a listing site, typically there's somebody somewhere is entering new items. Now, often that is somebody externally, like a job posting. So I'm allowed to post to this job board. So I'm going to be posting externally. So you might want to use the user role editor plugin to add, edit, or delete roles. You know, WordPress comes with a set of roles: subscriber, editor, contributor, administrator, those things. But maybe you need something else maybe you want all those, but you need something different that's maybe got different permissions than those roles do, then this is a great plugin for that. And all of these are available in the repository. You may end up needing the pro version, but they all have a free version in the repository. And then like on the project managers site that I was showing you, if you're logged in as a project manager, you have a totally different menu than if you're not logged in. Because if you're not logged in, you're somebody that landed on the site and you're maybe looking at the project managers to possibly contact one of them to build their website and manage their project for them. So you got a different menu, like how it works and how to contact people. But if you're logged in, you need to be able to edit your profile. You need to be able to add your portfolio and things like that. So you got different menus, and I really like Advanced Access Manager for that. Oh wait, that's not. I've got them mixed up. That's not Advanced Access Manager. That's the user menus, nav menu visibility to control how the navigation menu appears different to different users. Advanced Access Manager helps to control the access to the menu functions on the back end, even more so than advanced custom fields and custom post types, where you can add things to it. But maybe there's a whole bunch of administrative stuff that you don't want these people who are just adding their own job postings to see, then you could use this plugin to edit that. And you notice on those that I had filters on the side. There's one plugin called Facet WP that works for that I'm using on that furniture site, but it's very complicated. I discovered this Filter Everything plugin, and it is a premium plugin. It's a paid plugin. But it does filter everything, and it's so easy. You can do it on any field. You can do it on any taxonomy. It makes creating those side filters so easy. I love this plugin. So hopefully everybody understands what I was talking about. So that's pretty much my talk on custom post types. As I mentioned, I'm not an expert, and this was truly a beginner introductory course on how these things relate to one another. And I will mention that if you're interested in learning more about project management, go to wproadmaps.com/join us. And I will tell you that right now we are starting on Monday, we're starting a certification intensive. So if you're interested in getting certified and getting more of that social proof, because customers really do care about getting their projects done on time and within budget. And if you can prove to them that you can do that, that's kind of just an extra unique value proposition, and also social proof, and sets you apart from your competition. So if you're interested in that, it's $29 for that to take the intensive part. And basically, I just nag you for a week to get through it. You can get through the whole thing and get certified in 7 days. So if you're interested in that sort of thing. That's pretty much the end of my talk. Does anyone have any questions?